Last week, we were full of enthusiasm about the new console devices, and of course, with the great enthusiasm, people start asking questions about which console they want to have as the next gen. Are you going to choose Xbox Series X, or are you a fan of PlayStation 5? In general, we have come in a new video explaining the most important features of the new consoles with tips for choosing your next one easily. So follow us in this video. Welcome back, heroic players in Player Yard, where you will find latest news and discussions. If you're interested in content like this one, then all you have to do is to subscribe to our channel, and that will help us a lot to provide the best gaming content for you. Certainly, we have had a huge week, and this may have distracted our opinion as it became difficult to choose the appropriate new console, but we will simplify the matter so that it is easy. We will talk about several things in the new consoles, such as games and services, in addition to the performance and prices. So let's get into it. We have to know that this is the first time that two consoles have been released from each company, so we have here the Xbox Series X and Xbox Series S. On the other hand, we have the PlayStation 5 Standard Edition and Digital Edition. We will include the Xbox Series S in comparison, while the PlayStation 5 consoles have no differences other than the entry of discs only. First thing, let's talk about performance and prices. The big controversy will be over the Xbox Series S because it is the cheapest price and of course the least powerful. However, despite this, it is a good choice for the economic category of gamers, with a large library of games, namely Game Pass service, with a simple monthly subscription. To clarify, let's take a look at console specs. The PlayStation 5 will run off a custom-built version of the third-generation AMD Ryzen chipset, packing in 8 cores, with the company's new Zen 2 architecture and Navi graphics. The CPU will run at 3.5 GHz. The GPU offers 36 compute units running at 2.23 GHz and offering almost 10 teraflops. Those parts are paired with 16 GB of G6 with a bandwidth of 448 GB per second. It's a system that will be able to support ray tracing, a performance-intensive lighting technique that has previously been the reserve of expensive high-end PC GPUs, and which we now know will be built into the GPU hardware for the PS5. Secondly is Xbox Series X. We now know that the Xbox Series X GPU boasts 12 teraflops of compute performance, with 3328 shaders allocated to 52 compute units. It will run at a locked 18 GHz and, unlike most GPUs, won't fluctuate between speeds. Instead, it will deliver the same clock speed, regardless of the temperature of the unit or the game you're playing. The processor is a customized AMD Zen 2 CPU with 8 cores and 16 threads. Interestingly, developers can choose to disable simultaneous multithreading to reach a peak speed of 3.8 GHz or hit a base speed of 3.6 GHz when it's enabled. On the other hand, we have Xbox Series S specs, which is GPU AMD Navi 2, 20 compute units 1.5 GHz. GPU power 4 teraflops, RAM 10 GB G6. In fact, Xbox Series S is not targeting 4K specifically, although it's supported using upscaling technology, but what I want to say is that PlayStation 5 Digital Edition will be at $400. Yes, it is an increase of $100, but with much better specifications than the Xbox Series S. In my opinion, PlayStation 5 Digital Edition is much better in terms of price for performance, but Xbox has presented another beast on the scene to be the strongest, the Xbox Series X. The specifications of this console are slightly bolder than the PS5, but with $500. Well, we have said many things, let us summarize them for you. First, if you want to experience real 4K games at the cheapest possible cost, you can buy PlayStation 5 Digital Edition, which is disc-less. If you want a disc drive, then you can buy PlayStation 5 Standard Edition for $500. Well, the second option is that you want to experience next-generation games at a cheap price only and do not care about 4K. You can buy the Xbox Series S, which is also a smallest console. You can buy Xbox Series X for $500, which is a bit more powerful than the PlayStation 5. Anyway, it's still a good choice. We must mention that the choice of your console depends on its features, but fortunately, all consoles of the new generation will support the new features, such as fast switching between games and SSD to cancel loading screens. Also support for ray tracing, frame rate up to 120 frames per second, in addition to HDR technology. Moreover, PlayStation 5 will come with a completely new controller, with support for new features such as haptic feedback and adaptive triggers. This is somewhat different with the Xbox Series X or S, as we have not heard of completely new technologies different from the previous Xbox controllers. Except for some improvements to the back buttons and a more sharing features. It was also mentioned that each all Xbox controllers will be compatible with the Xbox Series X and S, unlike the PlayStation, which said that previous controllers will not work on the new PS5 games due to the new technologies which I mentioned that will not be compatible with the previous controllers. Games have always been one of the main reasons for us to buy a console, otherwise why would we have bought it? A good amount of games will be available for each console at launch. Sony has a collection of games that might blow our minds, such as Spider-Man Miles Morales and Horizon Forbidden West. While Xbox has a Halo Infinite with a Game Pass service, that legendary service is considered the best gaming service. Xbox Games Pass gives you access to more than 200 games to download and play on your Xbox console for one monthly fee. You can download the games and play them as often as you like, as long as you continue to pay the monthly fee. I have seen people asking about the amount of next-gen games that will be enough for the launch. Obviously, there are many players who will remain on the current generation of PlayStation 4, and of course at the beginning of each generation, it is difficult to transfer all players to the new console, so for that reason, all the games that will be released on PS5 will also be released on PS4 in the first 2 years, so that a good number of games have also been available on the new gen, but the downside is that you will not enjoy the new technologies of games as there is on the PS5, such as ray tracing and fast movement between the different game worlds. But don't forget, if you buy PS5, 99% of PS4 games will able to run on PS5 due to backwards compatibility, so you won't miss your old games. Of course, the games of the beginning of the generation will not fully exploit the power of the device, since as we have seen with the end of the PlayStation 4 generation, the games at the end will be strong, and we will see that they exploited the full power of the device. Speaking of exclusive games, Sony has always had an advantage in that, so we hear a lot about powerful, exclusive games coming to the PlayStation, which are actually like this and sometimes controversial, since months ago the Avengers game was released on PlayStation 4, Xbox One and PC, but without the character Spider-Man, the world turned upside down, and everyone started criticizing the game because Spider-Man became exclusive to PlayStation, so Sony was always strong with its exclusive games. Sony has confirmed a November 12 release date for PS5, though some territories, including the UK, won't get it until November 19. Microsoft fans get their hands on the new Xbox a week earlier, with the company confirming the Xbox Series X will release on November 10, 2020. I asked my Facebook friends about the best device you would like to have, and most of the answers were about the PlayStation 5. Indeed, at the time of the pre-order, which was days ago, the quantity ended in about an hour due to the large number of requests, and even some online stores started crashing. Choosing console devices is one of the most difficult choices, so you should choose it wisely so as not to spoil the fun of next-generation games, but we must note that there is no such big difference from PlayStation and Xbox. We hope that you took advantage of this video and knew which console you want to pick up. If you have decided the console before, tell us in comments what is your console. Thank you for following us, and do not forget to subscribe to the channel to see everything new in the world of games. See you in the next video.